Okay, let's go ahead and jump into week 6 of the Global Lounge. Now, I'm still making these even during exam week. They're pretty short. They're like little 30-minute episodes. Um, but I haven't gotten any instruction telling me not to do a lecture, so I am doing a lecture. Um, so if you're seeing this and you're surprised because it's exam week, I didn't get anything telling me not to do one, so I am doing one now. And again, the workload for these is very small, so I think you should be able to do it, but good luck on your exams. Okay, chapter 6, you can find this on page 102, page 102. Expressing wants and needs, right? Big different. Something you want, 원하다, versus something you need, 필요하다, right? Conversation. Looking for a new apartment. Good morning. How can I help you? I'd like to rent an apartment in this neighborhood and wonder if you could help me. You need to talk to Shirley. She's our go-to agent for apartment rentals. Here, I'll take you to her office. Hello, I'm Shirley. Have a seat and tell me what kind of apartment you're looking for. Is it just for you? Well, that depends on what's available. I'd really rather live alone, but if I don't see anything that works, I could share a bigger place with a friend of mine. Okay, first, tell me what you have in mind. The most important thing is the location. I want to be in the city, preferably in this neighborhood, so I can walk to the university and to the metro station. I don't have a car. Okay, then you don't mind if there's no parking space. Exactly, but I want a secure building. I also want it to have a living room, a dining room, one bedroom, and of course, a modern kitchen and bathroom. I don't really need all the bells and whistles, but I would like to have a balcony. And what is your budget? I mean, what monthly rent are you thinking about, including utilities? I'm hoping to find something for about $700 a month. Look, I can tell you right now, there are no decent apartments in this area under $1,200 a month, and none of them have dining rooms or balconies. There are modern, secure buildings that are actually near the metro, but they're at least 6 miles outside of the city. There's no way I'm going to live way out there. Do you think you could find a two-bedroom place closer in for, say, $1,400 a month? Something I could share with my friend? Let me do a little research this morning and see what I can find. I'm not going to tell you that it's impossible, but I can't promise anything either. Give me a couple of hours to see what's out there. If I find anything worthwhile, we can go have a look this afternoon. In the meantime, I need you to fill out this form so I have your contact information. As a matter of fact, both you and your friend will have to fill out an application in order to be approved as tenants. I'm assuming you want a 1-year lease. Is that right? Oh, one more thing. You don't have a pet, do you? Yes, I'm willing to sign a 1-year lease, and no, I don't have a pet. And I'll make sure my friend gets rid of his dog. He can leave it with his family. They have a place in the country. I'd better go give him a heads up right now. Good. Be sure both of you bring your financial and credit information with you. Right. We'll see you at noon then. Thank you very much. See you later. Okay. So trying to find a place to rent. I don't know what city they're in, but $700 living in the city for an apartment, especially one with all these things, is not very common. My Gushiwon when I first moved to Seoul was 40만 won a month, right? And that was one very small room. I think it was Opyeong. Okay. Improving your conversation. Need. So need means 필요하다, something that is required. So it can be something you literally require, like it's something that if you don't have, you'll die. I need a doctor, right? But we can also use need for anything that is a requirement, something that you must have. So for instance, I need 6 more credits in order to graduate. So this isn't a need like they'll die if they don't get 6 more credits, but it's something they need, something they must have in order to graduate from university. The children need to bring pencils and erasers to class, right? They won't die if they don't have pencils and erasers, but if you don't have pencils and erasers, how are you going to participate in class, right? A similar word is have to. The difference between need and have to is that need is a requirement, but have to is an obligation. It's something you have to do. It's something you need to do because of your job or your family, something like that. I have to get my car fixed, right? It's not something they need to do or they'll die, but it's something that they must get done in order to help with their family or help with work. He has to work on Saturdays, right? Has to. It's an obligation for his job. Okay. To be required to. So to be required to, is required to, are required to, means something similar to need, but it's something you must do because of an authority, like your government or your university. So, for instance, Sungkyul University students that are taking the English class are required to take the TOEIC exam, right? It's something you have to do. It's something you need to do because of an authority, in this case, the university, right? A requirement. A requirement is something you must achieve, right? It's something you must have done already in the past or something you have to do in the near future because of an authority, again, like a government or your school or maybe even your job. So, for instance, ability to speak another language is a requirement for this position. You must have achieved the ability to speak another language, right? Something you must have done. A prerequisite. Prerequisite is similar to a requirement, but it's normally used when talking about university classes. So, for instance, if there is, let's say you're taking Math 2 for university, or you're taking College Algebra 2, well, there probably is a prerequisite, pre meaning 먼저, 전에, and requisite meaning requirement. So it's a previous requirement to complete Algebra 1, right? It makes sense. You have to do class 1 before, 먼저 전에 before, you can take class 2, right? It is a prerequisite. 얘는 this course is open to beginners. There are no prerequisites. It's for beginners, so you don't need to have taken a different class. Now, how is need different from want? Well, if need is something you must have, right? 필요한 거, right? Want is something that if you have, you'll be very happy or it's very good for you, but it's not something you have to have. For instance, we want to move to a better neighborhood. So he wants to move to a different place, but if he doesn't move to a different place, will he die? Nah. Well, does he have an obligation to move? Nah, not really. But it's something that he would want to happen, 원하다, right? 하면 좋겠다, right? It's something that if it happened, he would be very happy. She wants to go to college, right? The implication here is she can't go to college yet. Maybe she's too young. Maybe she doesn't have the money. Maybe her grades aren't high enough, right? But she won't die if she can't go. But it's something she wants to do. Would like means the same as want, but it's a little politer. So for instance, my son, he says things like, I want ice cream. And we say, no, say, I would like some ice cream, please. It sounds nicer. It's more polite to say this instead, right? I want, I want, I want. It sounds a little whiny, especially if it's children talking. So would like is more polite. It's a politer thing to say. We'd like a house with 4 bedrooms. Sounds more professional than I want a house with 4 bedrooms. They're probably trying to sound very polite. Mind. So, what does mind mean? Well, if you're thinking of mind, the noun, you're probably thinking of 뇌, like your brain, and you're on the right track. So if mind, the noun, is your brain, what's mind, the verb? Well, what do you do with your brain? You think about things, right? So, whenever we're talking about thinking about something, we can often use the verb mind to mean something I've been thinking about, right? So for instance, have in mind. If you have something in mind, it means you've already been thinking about this thing and have an opinion. 얘는 Sure, I'll help you decorate your living room. What kind of look do you have in mind? Right? The implication is she's already been thinking about decorating the living room. She probably has opinions already. So what have you been thinking about? What do you have in mind? Now this is very different from have a mind to 뭐뭐뭐. If you have a mind to 뭐뭐뭐, it means you're strongly thinking about something, normally something very drastic, right? I have a mind to blow his house up, right? It's something I've been thinking very strongly about because I'm very angry, right? Because we normally use it for strong emotions like angry, right? Be careful when you use this phrase. He stole money from me. I have a mind to report him. I've been strongly thinking about this very strong action. I have a mind to report him. To mind something means to think about it a lot, right? Normally in a negative sense, like you've been worried about something or it's something you don't want to happen or something you don't enjoy, right? Generally, right, throughout the day. the things you are thinking about for a long time aren't the happy things, right? Normally you're thinking a lot about problems or things that bother you. So when you mind something, it often means you're thinking about it because it's bad. So for example, I don't mind going to the store. I'm happy to do it. Meaning, I haven't been thinking negative thoughts about going to the store. I'm happy to do it. Now, there's another use of the verb mind, and that means to take care of, especially when talking about jobs. So if you mind the store, it means you are taking care of the store, normally because your boss had to go somewhere or maybe has a meeting. So your boss might say something like, "Thank you for minding the store while I had lunch." So why do we use mind this way? Well, where is your mind? It's on your head. When do we also use the term head? When we're talking about the boss. So when you're minding something, you are acting like the boss. You're acting like the head of the store. It's kind of weird, but English is weird like that sometimes. So you can also use it to mean looking after children, right? Taking care of children. Normally children that aren't yours. Like if you're watching your niece and nephew, they might say something like, "Could you mind the children while I go to the store?" Again, because you're acting as the head, as the boss of the children. You can also use mind to say, pay attention to something. And we normally use it this way with the word don't or won't, like in a negative way. Like, don't mind her. Don't think about her. She doesn't know what she's talking about, right? Don't think about her opinion, right? Don't mind her. Don't think about her. No, I won't babysit for your children because they won't mind me. They won't think about me. To make up your mind means to decide something. I guess that makes sense, right? To make up means to finish building. And if you've finished building your thoughts, it means you've made a decision about something, right? 선택하다. Do you want pizza or pasta? Make up your mind. Make a decision. I can't make up my mind between the SUV and the van, right? Change your mind. Well, if make up your mind means to make a decision, then change your mind means to change your decision. You had an opinion, you had something you decided that you like or don't like, and then you changed it to something else. Never mind. Never mind means to stop thinking about something. We often do this when, like someone asks you a question, but then they found the answer already, right? Your mom's like, "Hey, where's my car keys? Where's my car keys?" And before you can say something, she finds the car keys on the table. She'll say, "Oh, never mind. Never mind. Don't think about it. Don't think about it." Right? Means, stop thinking about this question. I already have an answer. Never mind. Okay. So we already know mind means nue. So mind reader means someone who can hear your thoughts. Someone that can hear what your brain is thinking. We often use it as a joke. Like, I'm not a mind reader. I can't hear your thoughts, right? There is and there are. This is kind of a set phrase. If you remember, is and are the verbs to be. 있다, 에요, 예요, right? There is and there are means 있어요, but there are not or there is not would be 없어요, right? There is a gas station up ahead. Now you notice in Korean, this would normally go at the very end of a sentence, right? 있어요, right? 없어요. but in English it normally goes near the beginning, or at least the beginning of the clause. To have a look. To have a look at something literally means, 보다, 봐요. But we normally use the term have a look, meaning to do a very quick investigation, right? 연구하다, right? When you're going to investigate information very quickly. So for instance, when you are studying for an exam, I'll have a look at my notes before the exam, right? Get rid of, 버렸다. So you can get rid of trash, 쓰레기 버렸다, but you can also get rid of other things too, like in this case, get rid of their dog. I don't think in Korean you'd say, 강아지를 버렸어. You'd normally say something like 강아지 위해서 다른 집 차렸어요, right? Something like that. Get rid of. Preferably. Preferably, prefer means something you like better than something else. 뭐뭐보다 이걸 더 좋아요, right? Preferably means if this is something that can happen, you want it to happen. It's your first choice, best choice. Preferably, I will go to university this year. Something like that. Go to. If someone or something is go to, it means it's your first choice because it's the best, easiest, or most common choice. So for instance, your friend might say something like, I want kimbap, where should I buy some? You could say, oh, my go-to kimbap store, the best, the most convenient, or maybe just the closest, is Kimbap Jungkook, right? Or something like that. So a place can be go-to, but a person can be go-to also. Oh, he's the best with computers. He's my go-to computer guy. Oh, she's the best with cars. She's my go-to car girl. Worthwhile. So worth means it is it's something that meets the expectations of your time or money. So for instance, a bike that is very expensive but is also very good, you might say is a worthwhile bike. It's a bike that is worthy of your time or money. But you can use worthwhile for anything that you think is worth time or money. So 얘는 the translation course is intensive, but it is really worthwhile. It's something very difficult, but it is worth the time and money. Cancer research is a worthwhile cause. It's something expensive, but it is worthy of that expense. Out there. So the there they're talking about here, kogi, yeah. Kogi 밖에서, right? The there they mean here is the real world. So in university, right, there's certain things you can do or say or enjoy that maybe you can't do in regular life. Like for instance, sometimes if your university courses are in the afternoon, you can sleep until 11 o'clock, right? You can sleep as late as lunchtime if you want. But out there in regular life, you can't do that, right? There's no job on the planet, especially once you get married and have a family. You're not going to sleep until 11 o'clock, right? Not even on a Saturday. Out in the real world. Utilities. This is a good vocabulary word. Utilities are all the things that a house has or needs that isn't an appliance or furniture. So 얘는 a table or a sofa are not utilities, right? They're furniture. They're something that comes with the house. But think about things like internet service, water, right? Um, Air conditioning, right? These are things that a house needs, but are not furniture or appliances. We call them utilities. So normally we use this when talking about buying a house or renting a house. You might say something like, how much are utilities? 평균, on an average month, how much do I have to pay for all the extra things like internet and water and electricity and heat and things like that? Bells and whistles. So here they're talking about bicycles, or that's what the original phrase meant, right? Think about a bicycle, like a normal bicycle. Does it have a bike bell that you can go ring, 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 ring? Does it have a whistle so that when you're riding really fast, the wind goes? Probably not. A long time ago, you could buy those on bicycles, especially children's bicycles, but they would cost extra money. So we call something that is not needed, but is cool, bells and whistles. Something not needed, but is cool and cost extra money, right? So you're buying a TV. Well, is it 4K with HDR, right? That might be bells and whistles. Extra things that are cool, but normally cost extra money. Country. Here, in the story, they used country to mean 시골, like countryside, right? Not the city. 도시반대, right? Not the city. But country can also refer to 나라, right? I'm from the country of America, right? So those are the two uses of country. Country 나라 and country 시골. Normally the context tells you. What country are you from? They're talking about 나라 country. We like to go to the country on the weekends to get some peace and quiet. They're talking about 시골, right? A heads up. A heads up is a warning. So think of it this way. Someone is looking down at their smartphone, right? They're looking down at their phone. They can't see, a baseball about to hit them in the face. Right? You'd say, watch out, 조심하세요. Or you could say, heads up. Move your head up to look for danger. So we use the term heads up to mean a warning, right? Oh, give me a heads up when you make it back into town. Warn me or tell me about something that is about to happen. Now, the word say means merhada, but it's also another bum 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 filler word. That's right, we got another filler word. You can use the filler word say in the same place as like the word like. Why don't you ask like Rosita or Laura? However, the one difference between like and say is you can use like whenever you want. Say is normally used when you're thinking of examples. 예는, right? Korea has lots of great food. Say kimchi jjigae and bulgogi and shabu shabu, right? So you're thinking of examples and you're giving yourself time to think by using the word say. In the meantime. So that means while you are waiting, while you're waiting for something to happen, right? Joey had to go away for 6 months. In the meantime, while we're waiting for 6 months, Julie went to classes and learned to cook. So while Julie was waiting for Joey to come back for 6 months, she went to classes, and learned to cook in the meantime while you're waiting. So you'll hear this a lot, like if you have to wait for, say, a doctor's appointment, right? You're in the waiting room. You might say, oh, my appointment's not for 30 minutes. In the meantime, I will look at news on my smartphone, right? In the meantime, while I am waiting. One more thing. So, one more thing is used when at the end of a conversation, but you forgot that there's something else that you need to add, something that is important, something you almost forgot to say, but is actually pretty important, right? So, for instance, so doctor, I'll take the medicine you gave me and go to physical therapy. Oh, one more thing. When do you think I'll be able to go back to work? So she almost forgot to ask about going back to work, but it's something important. So before she forgets it, she wants to ask this information. Okay? All right, that is it for today. Good job. Let's do 6-3 today. 6-3 will be your homework and due Friday afternoon as always. Have yourself a wonderful exam period. I hope you do great on your exams. Good luck and God bless.